Are you looking to embrace agentic AI in your brand's creative process and want something more than just another LLM wrapper? What about a multi human to multi agent experience? Welcome to One Amazing Thing About Atarim. Today we're talking with Vito Peleg, CEO at Atarim, and he's going to be sharing one amazing thing about their platform with us today. Vito, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Greg. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing this in action. Before we do, though, why don't you start by giving a little background on yourself and your role at Atarim?
And so I'm the co-founder and CEO here at Atarim. I actually started my journey building websites from the back of the van while I was a musician touring around Europe for a couple of years. I think that gave me a nice perspective on remote creative work before G, kind of
Yeah,
stealing
right.
Wi-Fi from McDonald's as we were driving past. And then once I turned 30, it wasn't nice to live in a smelly van with four other guys. I settled here in London and started building a web agency. We scaled that up super fast, and that kind of highlighted how painful it is to collaborate with clients, get them to give us all the information that we needed, which inspired the first version of Atarim, which was a WordPress plugin back in the day. Over the couple of years, it kind of upgraded and enhanced and expanded into now a platform agnostic system that helps teams collaborate on creative work. And when it comes to the AI component that we're going to talk about, I think it might be interesting to kind of frame that. Well, I was very fortunate to be one of the first 1,000 people that got access to GPT-2 back in the day.
Yeah.
And then I proceeded to build the first implementation of AI into WordPress, even one of the first ones into Chrome. And I've been following this space very, very closely since that early days, and we've been waiting for something to happen in this industry or in this technology that would unlock the use case that we're going to be sharing here today. And it finally happened. So I'm very excited to share this with everyone. We basically built the first agentic creative team, a team of collaborators that are working with you to enhance any marketing team, any design team to work together with their clients. Maybe in a little bit in one sentence on Atarim, right now there's about 72,000 teams that are using our solution with 1.7 million of their team members, stakeholders, and clients. A lot of this has been massive growth over the past year. So it's definitely exciting times here. We've just grown from like 4 people to around 25 just over the past couple of months. So it's all systems go here, Greg.
Yeah, that's super exciting and congrats for your growth so far and your success.
Thank you.
So let's why don't you share your screen and take a look and see it in action.
So I just found this random website here on the web, Greg.
I recognize that.
I thought that would be a great way for us to kind of explore what's going on. And at the core, what Atarim allows people to do is to click any part of any page for any creative piece of work and leave a comment where the request is. And that's what we've been doing for a couple of years already. But with the new AI, this goes into a world where you have now multiple humans collaborating with multiple agents, all within the same contextful environment. And I think that what is pretty exciting about this is that we've leveraged millions of the critical strategic feedback that we've gathered from our users over the past few years to give our agents taste. And so they're not just acting as yes man, as what most AI tools are. They just kind of follow your lead and directions to the best of their ability. But they're here to criticize the work, allow you to elevate the quality of the work, and maybe even allow you to see behind the corner, kind of like working with a senior advisory team that just lives within your work, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
And so as we're getting started with this, the first thing that you want to do is you want to learn a little bit about the brand. So this is exactly what I did here, where I added the website that we're working on right now. And I did a discovery session that allowed us to find a little bit of information about Agile Brand Guide, including the target audience, the tone of voice, what probably is the goal of your website here, Greg, some of the competitors, some brand guidelines, so that our team now have context to work on this project literally with a click of a button. And then we're just saving time here in terms of waiting for the AI to do its thing. So we kind of pre-did this before the call. But the next thing that I did is I basically chose what we're trying to do. And everyone wants more conversions. So especially if we're talking to marketing folks. So I just chose this as this is our intent. It's what we're trying to help us get to more conversions from this website. And as soon as we click on that, it chooses the right agents that are all skilled. And not only that they have pre-training based on what we've gathered over the years, but they also have access to additional tools. So, for example, the index, the SEO guy here can go off and do SERPs analysis and gives us some cool information. Instead of that 40-page report, it will generate, those ones that 40-page
Right.
report,
I've seen those. Yeah.
right? I've seen plenty of these over the years. So it's not about that. It's not that audit. They have access to run an audit, take that 40-page report with 2,000 points, and then highlight strategically what are the things that we should do today to move the needle for us in order for us to reach this intent. And it's the same thing for the different aspects here, from contrast checkers to tone analysis and design inspiration that is coming in from some of the competitors or other websites that are similar to this that it identified on the discovery, all of these kind of different cool things that it's in fact, Greg, what the team does. They go off and they generate the report and then they prioritize based on what we should be doing today. And we kind of gave them the same capabilities. So then it's just a matter of clicking this button. And then it goes through a two-step process here. The first thing is our strategic overview. So if I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see that here on the side, it's what Claro does, which is the project manager. He oversees the entire project from a strategic perspective, kind of like that first impression that then paints the rest of the conversation, right? That we have in every piece of work that we do, that first few seconds matter in terms of how the rest is perceived. And so that's what he does here. First, so Vito, I dug through this page with conversion goggles on, which is what we're trying to do. I care about one thing, turning curious visitors into engaged listeners and subscribers. I'll keep this practical, high impact and friendly because small changes here can move metrics fast, which is pretty cool. And then it highlights what are the gaps, what are the strategic gaps that we have at the moment. And we have the hero value clarity. And I think you might agree with that as well, Greg, if we're looking at the top section. What am I supposed to really do here? There's a bunch of stuff that are kind of competing for my attention. The page opens with a long intro copy and busy visual. The impact is that visitors can't quickly grasp the single biggest promise. Why it matters when the value prop is fuzzy, click through and podcast listens drop. Fixing this can lift engagement, CTR to player to subscribe by 10 to 25%. Then you have other stuff like the primary CTA, visibility and hierarchy. There's multiple weak CTAs and low contrast means no clear next step, which is exactly what we described. Trust signals can be improved. Episodes grid is visually strong, but lacks inline social proof rating, listens, short blurbs, right? Could definitely elevate the intent of the user to click in and listen. And give us a nice number here. Concise proof near CTAs can increase play rate and subscription intent by 5 to 12%. We have another nice lift here that we can work towards. Content hierarchy and scanning, form and search usability. Anyway, it kind of gave us in mobile scanning. So they don't only experience this from your view, they experience this on multiple viewports all in the same time. And so again, they're looking at it like a professional would from this perspective. But then it doesn't end with just like what is wrong. It frames what great looks like. And this is really the next step. It basically flips the other side to tell us what should we do. Clear single sentence hero promise. One visual funnel per viewport. Micro proof at the moment of decision. I love that. Add listens, episode length, and one line testimonials beside featured episode and near the CTA. Results, small trust cues that increase play subscriber rates. Friction-free search and subscribe. Now, this is just the overview. It doesn't end here because then it describes to each one of the invited team members what they should focus on to give us tactical suggestions to lift and to drive us towards this intent. And so Navi needs to audit the click paths, Lexi review copy hierarchy, and then and so on. So then we go into the single items here. So here we can drag them left or right to accept or dismiss, or we can click on keep or hide here. But let's see what Lexi is telling us. The page has a headline, but the H1 doesn't state a clear benefit or target audience. Shorten and refocus one sentence that tells CMOs and marketing leaders what they'll gain. So I'm going to keep this one for sure. I agree with that. Let's see what you can suggest on the back of this. The H1 is present. We got a positive one. We have an H1. That's great, Greg.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, that's one for us.
The H1 is present and marked up correctly, which helps scanning and SEO. Awesome. I'm not going to keep this. I'll hide, but it's good to know. We have this one where we have several hero carousel image render visually, but the DOM doesn't expose alt text. So it means that it's very hard for accessibility tools to understand it, but also for search engines for sure. So I'm going to keep this one so we can tackle it. And that's how we continue on. And we have these suggestions throughout the entire page now for all kinds of different elements that will allow us to get to this objective. Yeah. Based on the folks that we invited, the agents that we invited for this specific review. Now, we accepted this one, and Lexi gave us a really nice suggestion here that the headline is not really clear. So I'm just going to ask her, Lexi, what should it be? Right? And she knows the brand voice. It was already discovered in the discovery. She understands the target audience, and she experiences the content on the entire page already, or I call it she, but it.
Yeah, yeah.
And within a couple of seconds, we're going to get a response here after reviewing this again, looking into the source code, looking into the content available, the screenshots that are provided to it, and it's going to basically tell us what we should do to align with this goal. Now, content is an easy one. I think that the magic here is that you don't need to explain multiple times and upload files and all of that. That all happen just as part of the process. But there's other more complex use cases like design, like UX, like accessibility, SEO, and the functionality that may be broken and we don't know how to fix. So they literally act as these advisors that work with you, and you can interact with them. Not only you, but if I'll share this link with you, you'll be able to come into here and work with us together in real time. And I can see your message, they can see your messages, you can see their messages. And in fact, it's the very first implementations of multiple agents working with multiple humans, all within that same contextful environment.
Yeah.
Which makes it, to me, as kind of shocking that no one did that multiplayer collaborative experience with AI yet, but also gives us a nice kind of differentiation going to the market with this.
Yeah, no, this is great to see, and yeah, to your point. I mean, first of all, I got a little work to do on the website, so I'll get my team in there and make some changes. That's amazing to be able to see. But to your other point, being able to do this just let's say just me or my webmaster or whatever, that's great. But being able to collaborate, I mean, it's like working in a Google Doc or something like that. Being able to do this, and yet way more powerful because you've got the research capabilities.
Maybe if I'll share a link here with you, you will be able to come in.
Okay.
If you click on this on your side, and it will open on your side, you will probably not see the agents because you're invited as a guest, so you don't see the team. You just see the suggestions that are coming in. But I will be able to see you wandering around the page here, which is pretty cool to kind of experience also in the. So I'm going to turn on the cursors, and you have that experience on any type of interface, and whether it's dashboard, landing pages, documentation elements, and we can literally work together, give each other suggestions on the spot, just as we are kind of working through the work itself, and even say, "Hey, Greg," and you'll see that on your side as well.
Yeah, nice. That's great. Before we wrap up here, what's the best way for somebody to get started with this?
But in the next few days, this is going to go live within Atarim. So if you go over there, all you need to do is drop in a website or a URL, and it's going to run the first review for free. You get a few tokens for free to play around and talk to the team, to the inner circle team, as we call them, and take it from there.
Wonderful. Yeah, this is by the time this runs, this will be live then. So that's great. Well, Vito, thanks again for joining the show. It's great to see this, and looking forward to seeing this grow. I'm looking forward to playing with this myself. And for those watching, you can learn more about Vito Peleg and Atarim by following the links in the show notes.
Thank you very much.